gonna do a video on how to unpackage the vacuuming equipment or what?
Hey, unboxing videos are big.
Okay, well you're not supposed to use a knife.
So glad my kids don't know about that.
They do.
Are you kidding me? There's kids that are at that age who make like
that's
six
what my
figures
kids
a
prefer
year.
to do is put their nose in the window. Alright, Mark, what are the components to vacuuming? What do you need to have?
It helps if you have a pool.
Thanks.
Then you need the stuff that, you know, works with it. You guys, I assume you've put on the skimmer net and stuff, so you know how these butterfly clips work. Just kind of, yep, exactly. So just put them in, clip it, line up the holes, let it pop out. All right. So now, let's go to the deep end skimmer. It'll be easier to prime. There's a big boulder in the way right there. All right. So I don't know if you guys have glanced in these skimmers at all, but if we pull the basket out, so you got two holes. That back one is actually where the suction's coming from, so that's what goes back to the system.
Okay.
So the front one is just plugged. It's for if we built the pool a different way, nothing to worry about.
Okay.
So you can see the cottonwood's kind of getting sucked back to the system. Anyways, that's the port that we're gonna put the vac hose in order to vacuum. If you look at most of these vac hoses, I mean yours obviously because it's the one we're using, but they'll have a blue end and a white end, and almost always the blue end is gonna go on the vac head. And the reason being, it says connected vac head, but is because it rotates.
Oh.
The other one is doesn't move at all, which since we can't move it, it makes it harder to kind of change the position of the head. So the way this goes is it's just a nice, you know, kind of friction fit on there. So it just pushes on. And then,
How did you do that, Mark?
you're the worst.
I know. You still love me though.
I have this little compression fitting where I just tighten up the nut and then I'll put it stiff, or I loosen it up and it goes up and down. And it sounds like this pole is a little dirty.
Just a little bit of dirt around here.
A little bit. Well, at least my dog's not here. Otherwise
Oh my gosh.
he'd go jumping on the horses.
Do they like to
Yeah.
swim in the pond?
Well, yeah, my dog's the one that disappeared down the road and came back muddy and we didn't know where he went.
Here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do about that.
Oh yeah, or like, or if you ever looked out your window and you saw a dog jumping over a horse that was laying down, that was my dog. All the other dogs think that something might be interesting and he's the one who goes and tries it. All right, so the easiest way that I find to prime a vac hose is if you notice I just kind of push this like straight down away from me and the idea is to push all the air out of the system. So I just put this all in the pool and then I just want to push it vertically down the wall. And while I have this rat's nest of a hose that's never been worked, yes, pushing it straight down, as I said. Well, so the fact that it's tangled is the reason why I threw the whole thing in the water, because dealing with it on the surface would be a little bit more of a hassle, but since it's free floating, I'm able to push it around. As you see, like as I'm putting it down, there's some bubbles coming from the white end of the hose whenever it touches the water, is because it's slowly filling up with water. And what happens is, when I get to the end, water should come out of it. And there it goes. So it's a full prime. So I just put my hand on it to keep it primed. and then just drop it down, and I put it in the hole, and it gets sucked down.
Oh, it'll connect, okay. Like
So-
connection.
Yep.
If it doesn't like automatically kind of suck it down, then your suction is down or your,
Okay.
it might
And
be
that's,
off.
and actually, so I kind of pushed it down a little bit because the suction's not great. The reason why it's not great is because we have a main drain wide open and another skimmer wide open. So I'm gonna go close those, where if you give this a little bit of tug, and you can feel that there's not much resistance on it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we'll go close the other lines, or mostly, and then we'll see the difference.
Is it possible to close the lines too much more? And if so, what happens?
You strain your pump, so yes.
Take that while we're watching. Microphone in your face.
How about we get to the pump and then we'll see what happens. All right, so if I plumb this the way that I would typically plumb a pool, then I should know which one's the deep end skimmer. And the way I know that is this is your main drain down at the bottom of the pool.
Okay.
This is the deep end skimmer because it's the one that's closest to the main drain. At least it should be. If I plumbed it backwards, then that means that this is the deep end skimmer. So what we'll do is we close the shallow skimmer most of the way.
Okay.
If you look at the bubbles in the main pump there, suddenly there's a little more bubbles. It strains the pump just a little bit because it's not pulling as freely from so many lines. So then if we close this one as well, you got more bubbles going in, and it also changes the sound a little bit, like right there. That's how you know you're straining it. If you ran your pump all the time like this, you'd shorten the lifespan of it, you'd kill it.
Okay.
So in general, we don't want it to be that low. We want something more like that. So we should have very little suction in the shallow skimmer, and almost all of it should be in the deep. Right. So that one's pulling pretty good. I might have plumbed it backwards. But in my defense, I don't think they were labeled when he ran them back underground. Exactly. That's how it works. Nope, this is good. So go ahead and pull that.
Okay.
No, I mean, you can pull it out. See if you can pull it out.
It's a lot harder.
A little more suction to it. And then as long as you get it close, it should pull it back in. Yep.
Yep.
See?
Okay.
And then you can see the whole hose being yanked. And then from here, it's just a matter of, just like vacuuming a rug. But the other thing to think about when it comes to a pool, you're dealing in 3 dimensions, not just 2. Well, I guess you're dealing with 3 dimensions if you're talking thickness of rug, but whatever. So that being the case is sometimes what you might want to do is perhaps you want to put everything going to the spa. So you can flip that one toggle switch, simply because with all the zones popping up, say if you got a bunch of dirt, all those heads popping up are going to help wash it down, but it's also going to cloud it up while you're vacuuming.
Okay.
So like if you don't want these zones popping up while you're vacuuming, then having it all go to the spa or turning it to the waterfall would make things a little easier.
Okay.
So that's just something to think about. Now this next step, you're not supposed to do this, but the way that I empty a vac hose, here's the thing, you don't want a bunch of air going back to the system, right? So we have about a 50-foot hose here, and I pull it out of the water. And this whole thing raises above the water because it's getting sucked dry, but now it's empty and the prime's still good. But if I left this in there, I would suck all the air back to the system and kill the prime.
Wait, but you didn't show us how to vacuum the pool.
Yeah, we did. We moved like 2 feet.
Is there a strategy for how you vacuum?
Yeah, turn off the in-floor so you don't get a big cloud.
Okay, wait. Can you just just pretend like you're vacuuming and say helpful things? You don't actually have to be vacuuming.
Can we just pull clips from another video? You guys are the worst. Weren't you just here? Didn't you just vacuum? Why didn't you video? This is what happens when it's pretty much a big family.
Are these family too?
No, they grew up in the same church we did, though.
Oh, okay.
Mark's my cousin.
Oh, you guys are cousins.
I'm Al's nephew.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Or maybe I did know that and forgot.
All right. Well, then how about Jamie? Would you just put the hose? I won't. I'm just getting the thing moving.
So we have to filled it with water again first, right?
You don't-
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you don't
no.
have to.
Yes. Yes.